Greetings, everybody. This is Fernando Ribeiro from the Portuguese heavy metal band MOONSPELL, and you're watching and listening to the metal interview Under the Spell.
That metal interview.
How are you doing, Fernando? You're doing good. What part of the world are you at?
Well, right now I'm in Alcobaça. That doesn't sound, it's 100 kilometers from Lisbon, from Portugal capital. And I'm enjoying a full day of interview sessions for Far From God. So I'm home, basically. Yeah.
Nice. Before we get into I know there's a brand new album you guys are about to release July 3rd. We'll get into that in a little bit. I do want to touch on Opus Diabolicum, the orchestra concert, should I say, that took place in Mexico. And there's another one coming up, right? Can we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
For people that don't know, fans, what goes on in organizing these things? Of course, you got to find an orchestra, right?
Well, it's a bit hard to organize, but it's also a fantastic experience for musicians such as us. MOONSPELL has always had a bit of an orchestral symphonic flair, and we never got ourselves to do it with a full orchestra. So in 2023, someone from a big company here in Portugal called me up and told me, do you want to headline the biggest arena in Lisbon? Where Maiden plays, where Slipknot plays, and I was just about to answer hell no. But I had started a relationship, a communication with a maestro, with a conductor here, and I thought it would be a good time to do so. So we definitely jumped into that head first. We had 8,000 people in Lisbon, and then we just kept a new show for us. The arrangements were done, the orchestra was a Lisbon orchestra, and we got 2 other invitations so far. We went to Mexico in May, played with Sincronica, a local orchestra from Mexico City. It was amazing. We had like 3,000 people over there, and right now we are in train of going to Bulgaria, to a very cool old amphitheater right there, an old Roman amphitheater, and play with a local orchestra too. And in the process, we also recorded DVD, film, and a live album that was out on Napalm Records last year called Opus Diabolicum, which is a recording of that Lisbon show.
Wow, super busy band, super busy guy. Do you have a life?
I do. I have moments of my life, but I always tell my wife, she's always telling me, you're busy because you don't love me. And I say, of course not. I'm busy because I'm the kind of guy that wants to be busy. I'm setting up all the rest and all the book reading and all the fishing when I'm 70. Right now I'm 51 and I have to press on. Being in a band from Portugal is quite a privilege. You don't get to live this kind of life often. You don't get to play with orchestras often. Of course, I love my wife, I love my kids, I love my friends. But, I try to balance them. Yeah, but sometimes it's hard to have a life, but also Moonspell is also my life. So, and that one is like in full power right now.
Some people don't know you're married to your wife is a singer as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
she is.
is she a part of those events as far as
No, I mean she supports us and myself and the other way around. But she has her own career. She has her own band. It's called The Gift. It's more of an indie pop band. They are incredible. They got incredible records. She's an amazing singer. She was born to sing, like myself, and she's also teams up with The Voice in Portugal, that talent show. So she's totally independent. But of course, every time we have the chance, we go and support each other's gigs. And it's also crazy because I think to understand your life, you really have to have someone as a peer, and that's the fact that we are both singers. Sometimes it's hard for the agendas and the grinding of touring life, but on the other hand, it's really beautiful because sometimes we have all the time in the world to be with each other and with our kid. Yeah.
that's just awesome to be married to somebody, a musician, right? That's awesome. Uh, back to the Opus Diabolicum. Who writes the score, the music for these cello parts, violin parts, and all that? Do you have somebody special? You handpicked, or do these orchestras they handle their own writing?
Well, we have to have an arranger. His name is Filipe Melo, and he's a Portuguese jazz piano player, but he works all the time with our maestro, with our conductor Vasco, and we hired him to do the orchestration, so to speak, the arrangements. Then he puts everything in a big program. Then we print the sheet music, and then we send it to the orchestras because it's the way. It's like he did an amazing job. He even did the intro. Philippe, we work with them in a totally unrelated manner. He was directing some videos for Moonspell back in the day for Lincoln's Rope, I'll See My Dreams, and some other songs. And he's like a big friend of us. We go back in time. And he's like a Renaissance man because he's a wonderful jazz piano player. He's a wonderful scorer. He's also an accomplished film director, and also he has some comic books that are very popular. I think one of them is even going to be soon adapted by a big comic label like Marvel or someone. So I mean, it's great, and he's also the translator. He knows Moonspell by heart. So he picked up our music and made these arrangements. And everybody that is playing them, they say it's great, and they are. And when I was to listen to the orchestra just playing by themselves, I even thought, well, Moonspell would just spoil these with our guitars and shouting vocals and big drums, because this sounds beautiful just with the arrangements. But the plan was to have Moonspell too. So maybe one day we'll just release the orchestral version, because trust my word, it's beautiful. It's heartbreaking almost.
Yes, I saw the film. It's awesome. I saw that Mexico footage and all that stuff. As a musician, I understand what they're playing, but then again, as a fan, if you're a fan of Moonspell and then you hear it like that, it's just a icing on the cake, right? It's just awesome stuff for fans. Thank you for thinking of fans like that, or.
Definitely. I mean, for us, it was a big extension of our music. It was a dream come true. I mean, we are sitting down in our small rehearsal rooms or venues, or, even our own private rooms with a keyboard and a computer doing that. And then all of a sudden you have 45, 50 musicians. Listen to that. That's really overwhelming. I think it's one of the peak moments. It's about the people, of course. It's about the shows being packed too, but it's also about the moment when you go to rehearsal with the orchestra and they just blew your mind, and sometimes you are like humbled by that, and you start asking yourself, oh, was that our music that they just played? And it was.
Yeah, incredible. Far From God, July 3rd, Fernando. Can you speak about that album? The first in many years, I think. You guys have an EP and a live album, but Far From God, the title speaks for itself. It's just metal, right? How about the tracks themselves, the production, the arrangements?
Well, this album, it's the follow-up to Hermitage. So it's been 5 or 6 years that we waited. I think we had to wait because I wanted Moonspell to be more inspired, more sure of the path we will go down musically. And I think this is a very simple, easy to listen gothic metal album with a lot of rock influences too. It's not very extreme, it's very melodic, it's very musical. Even, and I think it's really like one of our best creations so far. It was very important because when you do so much music and so much different music, sometimes you place yourself on crossroads that are hard to choose, so we have to double down. So we already released 2 singles, Far From God and Cross Your Heart. But I believe they are just singles. They're representative of the album. But I think the main focus will be on the album itself because there's many musical surprises. There's a lot of music going on. There's baritone vocals. There's screaming vocals. There's heavy guitars. There's soul. It's a very complete album as far as the Moonspell discography goes with our main influences. But also it's an album that we use Moonspell and everything that we have done so far as an influence too. It's very enjoyable. It's not a wall of sound or something like Night Eternal, but on itself it has a lot of value. It's very hard to listen to speak about music because I think best things in life are to be experienced, it's not to be debated. So the best thing I can say is for you to invite you guys, to invite your viewers, to invite your listeners to really tap into that and to find out what makes it special for each one of them. For me, it's the songs. We have great songs like Great Wolf in the Sky that's coming out as a single too. It's an epic, beautiful song. We have Our Freedom to Fall, which is almost a cross between a Morbid Angel, Type O Negative, Paradise Lost, Moonspell. So as any other Moonspell album, it has this importance of being diverse, but also very solid. In a way, and we're very, very happy with the result of it.
You mentioned the last album about the pandemic, give or take, right? Did the songwriting start ever since back then, or was this a recent?
Well, the songwriting starts immediately. I mean, it's a kind of cool thing for a band to make an album and then to start thinking about the next. At least for us, because it's always like, you have the feeling that this mission is done and you need another one as far as songwriting comes. Of course, there comes all the tours and all the promotion and all that jazz, but music is always very vital and essential to keep you going. But like I was saying, I didn't feel we were particularly inspired already to make a new album. That's why we had all these EPs and this touring we made in Europe, in the US too, and of course the symphonic album. And just like 1 year ago, we really started to go like head first to compose Far From God. That's when we felt the muse has arrived. And I know it's a very romantic standpoint when you have a scene that kind of grinds your creativity to have 2 years on the road, then another album, then more 2 years. And I think, and I have a lot of friends in music, I think it's killing their creativity and also their joy about being in a band. So with Moonspell, as we're very independent, we don't have a manager like screaming at us, like do music, make albums. We kind of took advantage of that and did everything with time, which is, I believe, a luxury. But that reflects on the final result of the album.
How did you guys decide on the producer? Jaime Gomez, because you produced the last one, right?
Yeah, and I think our story with him was not over, because he became a good friend of us. He's a great producer, and when you listen to the songs, he had his own vision about the sound. He's originally from Colombia, and he lived in the UK for a while. He worked with many bands, Ghost, X-Paxel, Insomnium, Perturbator. He does all kinds of stuff. He does a lot of indie metal too, Grave Pleasure, etc. And we liked that approach on him. And he was so possessed about the album that sometimes he was even butting heads with us because he had his vision. And I understand that. And he just saw it till the end. Even sometimes when the band was like, yeah, but it's our music. They say, yeah, but it's my production. So it was this kind of production. And I like that. Music is also about conflict, about challenge. If everything goes too right, maybe you lose the human touch, you lose the flair of it, and I think he did an amazing job because the album sounds very simple. It doesn't have a lot of layers, a lot of wall of sound, but it's when it start getting complicated for the production that everything sounds totally tight and in tune. So we have a hard recording to get everything the way that he wanted to, but I think it was great. He deserves all the trust, and much of the success of Far From God is also thanks to Jaime Gomez Arellano production, I believe.
For people that don't know about productions and recording and what a producer means, does that mean that Jaime is an extra band member, or he has a power like that? Is that what you're saying?
For us, yeah, but for other bands, they just hire the producer to be kind of a sound engineer and just to translate their ideas, which I think it's a bit frustrating for both parts. For me, since we started working with producers, since Wolfart, really, we have to be generous with our music, because if you hire someone, it's not like you're going to ask him or her to put another extra ingredient in your pizza pie. I don't see music like that. I see music as a collaboration. So sometimes you have to listen, you have to go around, you have to compromise, you have to have a lot of patience. But I think the producer is someone that steers you on the right direction, that keeps your ego in check, which is very important for musicians, and the one that helps translate sonically what were you thinking. One thing that Jaime told us straightforward was that you guys are going to record the demo, and we did. And you guys are getting used to the demo, and you're gonna really love it, and you're gonna ask me to make it more like the demo, and I'm not going to do that. I was like, yeah, but you're right, because sometimes we just get used to it. It's a special moment for the band, only friends listen to it, etc., and we become addicted to it. But I was totally focused on what he said, and I think a producer for me is someone that definitely is a helping hand and not just a hired gun.
I was reading your bio, Fernando. It says you're a translator. We all know you're a writer, of course. What does that mean, translator? Do you go? How do you apply that in life and society? What does that mean?
I don't do it professionally, but it's like a hobby for me, And of course, I already make some money because I had 3 very successful poetry books. One of them, the anthology called Purgatorial, I have translated in English, and you can find it in our shop if you're interested. I've translated it myself from Portuguese to English. And I did 2 novels so far. I'm working on my 3rd one that is coming out next year. They're all in Portuguese. They are released via Penguin Books here in Portugal, which is an important international book publisher. And I've worked with translation. It's been a while since I've translated stuff, but the most famous books I've translated was I Am Legend, Richard Mason. The Portuguese translation is mine. And I've translated a lot of tales from Lovecraft and his biography on comic book. So it's a hard work. It's very underpaid, but I love it. I love it to bring my authors into life in my own language. It's a great challenge too.
Before I let you go, Fernando, will we see the orchestra performance in America maybe one day?
Well, that doesn't only depend on me, but as far as Moonspell goes, we would love to do that. We probably can make some contacts. We probably can play with the local orchestra. It's high time for us to get our asses back to America too, because it's been since many years that we've been there. Last time with Elaine, so our fans are asking. And if you know anyone that could make it happen, I think we would love to do that, because it's a great moment, definitely. And I hope that sometimes we can take it to our North American fans too.
That'd be great. Well, I'll keep an eye out. I'll try to contact you and all that. Yep. Awesome. So people listening, Far From God, pre-order and pick it up before or on July 3rd. So we appreciate your time, Fernando. And
thank you very much for the opportunity.
Awesome. We'll see you sometime in the U.S. Thank you. Appreciate that.
See you overseas. Thanks, man. Bye-bye.
And so there you had Mr. Fernando Ribeiro, frontman, sensation, and legend from Portugal for the band Moonspell. For people that had been asking, when are you going to have Fernando on the show? There you go. Mission accomplished. First single release from this album was Far From God. Same title as the album, and the newest single that came out recently, Cross Your Heart. Second single from the album, 14th full-length album for Moonspell, for those of you keeping track. And don't forget to pick up and pre-order this album and support the guys. Go out there, you see them on tour, go to their merch booth, as I always say, support them. Pick up a t-shirt or some type of merchandise, right? The live album Opus Diabolicum, the orchestra live show, released in 2025, also a great live album where you can experience and listen to Moonspell with orchestra, jamming metal songs with their cellos and violins and so on and so forth. So anyways, thank you, Fernando, for being a part of that metal interview. Truly appreciate it. From your friend James, from the humble state of Texas in the US of A. Fanatics, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications, share, download, blah blah blah. Don't forget to keep it met.
That metal interview.